headed for Tellini's Italiano. Tellini's Italiano is located right in front of the Walmart, right off of University, behind the McDonald's. More or less catty corner from Topgolf. It's one of my favorite places to go to, and if you go there, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you need to try the baked spaghetti, add a meatball. Also try the baked ziti with meat sauce, add sausage. You'll thank me. Save room for some pizzas and paninis as well. And don't forget about dessert as well. The best cheesecake I have had here in North Alabama is at Tellini's Italiano. Find out for yourself today. That's Tellini's Italiano, right off of University Drive in front of the Walmart. Located online at Tellinis.com. That's TELLINIS.com. Let's get some Tellini's.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Is Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Doug Brown. 2 players from Duke and 2 from Rutgers among the top 5 picks at the NBA draft. After 18-year-old Cooper Flagg went number 1 to Dallas, former Scarlet Knights Dylan Harper was taken 2nd by the Spurs and Ace Bailey 5th by the Jazz. Duke's Con Knipple goes 4th to the Hornets after Baylor's VJ Edgecombe was taken 3rd overall by the 76ers. Round 2 of the draft tonight, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio. The Buccaneers signed Coach Todd Bowles and GM Jason Light to multi-year contract extensions. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reports Bowles' extension runs through 2028. The Rangers beat the Orioles 7-0 Wednesday night. For Texas, Jacob deGrom was perfect through 6 and didn't allow a hit until the 8th.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
And now, a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
But that never worked.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
And welcome in to another edition of the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk, 2 hours straight. Goofs, gaps, your phone calls, and so much more. 256-576-97.7 to get in on the programming today, as we have a wild, fun Thursday in store for you. Drew DeArmond right around the corner as well to hop back onto the airways, talk a little bit of recruiting, not just with Alabama, because we got a pretty good taste of that from Rodney Orr. But we're going to get around the league, the SEC, see what other teams are doing to improve their team going into the 2025 season, which we look very much forward to.
One needs to fire a coach to get better.
Oh, you keep saying that, Joe, but I still have a little bit of hope in what the Auburn Tigers have to offer going into the new season, and maybe we'll get a little bit more clarification on what they have going into the new season to come SEC Media Days. That is right around the corner. We will be on location. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to drink a lot of Dr. Pepper, strawberry cream. It's going to be wonderful. I'm going to end up in a coma by the end of it all. But yeah, good. It's kind of like what happened with the Braves yesterday. You have so much of a good thing, then you got to kind of, face the fear right afterwards.
I mean, Didier Fuentes, second start in Major League Baseball. He got rocked when he was down in Miami. He got rocked this go round.
Yeah.
He's a guy that they brought up because they have the options on him, but they also are trying to get back to Chris Sale because that's where Chris Sale's spot was going to be. And it sucks because of the fact that obviously with the Braves, every single win matters at this point in time. But now you're in a situation where, you know, they scored 7 runs. They did it on 2 home runs. He only pitched like 3 1/3, but now you've got to come back out tonight and try to win the series. And because it's a 4-game series before you head to Philadelphia, who is, you know, now the NL East went leader. So
because of you, because of the
because
Braves.
of you,
come on, now.
because of what you've done, they are leading the NL East. So it's a, you know, hey, you're the one that's doing this. So now you can help the Phillies because the Mets right now are a half game back of first place.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one that you're getting your opportunities to knock into this lead. And now you're only 9.5 games back of first place. So there's your opportunity. So you just got to keep winning. Just keep swimming,
winning.
man.
Just keep winning.
Just keep swimming. And yeah, that sucked. It did. It sucked early. I mean, you did 5 runs in the 4th inning. Soto hits a bomb. You had another home run at the very beginning of the game. Yeah, that wasn't fun. And Didier Fuentes is going to sit down to Gwinnett at some point in time. He's going to take a breath, and he's going to try to get better. The problem with him is, and this is the problem with a lot of pitchers that's in AAA, and it's the reason why they don't make the jump to the major league level, is because it's not so much your fastball that's the problem. It's more about your breaking ball pitches. If you can't throw those for strikes, nights like last night, nights like what happened in Miami are going to happen because batters know, I just got to sit on the fastball. He's not going to be able to throw the other pitches for a strike. So I don't even swing at those because I know if I get down to a situation where he's wanting to get strike 3, he can't throw a breaking ball because he can't throw it for a strike. That's the issue, and that's the difference between AA, AAA, and the majors.
Some more other stories around the league. The Pirates had Paul Skeens on the mound last night, and
that's yesterday afternoon.
Yet again, team falls apart because the people around him. And Paul Skeens, he's an amazing pitcher. Right now, he's pitching a 2.12 ERA, and he's sitting at a 4-7 record. And this is on a very bad Pirates team that's 32-50 on the year. But it's just, you look at the people around him, even the second best guy on the team, O'Neal Cruz. I mean, we were talking about him the other day because he had the lack of effort when the ball just kind of hit his glove and kept rolling. He just stood there. And last night, he went for a pretty impressive looking slide into a catch in the outfield. And, well, he didn't catch it, put in 2 runs, and that was kind of all she wrote. They just kept putting on the score. It was only 4-2 by the end of it, but it definitely felt like a 7-3 type of game right there.
Here's why every person that says baseball is dying, I just want to showcase this game. You have the Brewers and the Pirates doing a 1:00, 12 p.m. first pitch in Milwaukee. Almost 43,000 people were at that game.
Mm-hmm.
It's the highest attended game that the Brewers have had all season. And it's obviously because of Paul Skeens and Jacob Mizorowski. Both of those guys have been obviously dynamic. It's crazy because between the two, Mizorowski actually has the lower ERA right now because he's looking at a 1.13 where Skeens has a 2.12.
He's also 3-0 on the year.
He is also 3-0 on the year, and he even dominated down in AAA in the independent league because he was pitching for the Nashville Sounds. Mm-hmm. And this guy you're looking at 2 young pitchers in the NL Central in the middle of America on a Wednesday afternoon, and 43 Milwaukee and Pittsburgh fans showed up at whatever the name of that stadium is now, because it's not Miller Stadium or Miller whatever. It's like, Great Families Love You Stadium or something along those lines. But that's the part with baseball that makes me laugh, is when people say it's boring. It's like, no, you just need to be entertained. And a 4-2 ball game with Paul Skeens and Jacob Mizorowski pitching against each other, that is absolutely dynamic and was so much fun. And I love the fact that Milwaukee and Pittsburgh fans showed up for that.
No doubt about it. And then for the Texas Rangers, they were facing off against the Orioles, and Jacob deGrom had himself a game. He almost had a perfect game. Then he walked a batter. Then he walked another batter. And then it started kind of falling apart for him. But, he went through a majority of this game without letting anybody get on base. And on top of that, it was a shutout. Orioles scored 0 runs on the night.
They only had 1 hit.
Yeah, and it was a pretty big deal right there for the Rangers as Jacob deGrom moves to 8-2 on the season, and he just continues to show why he is such an assertive pitcher for this Rangers squad.
When he's healthy, he is still one of probably the most, I would say, top 10 pitchers in Major League Baseball. When he's healthy, which is obviously when you start talking about it, you can start also saying that about, Max Scherzer and those types of pitchers who's with the Blue Jays, who has dead arm. Like, those things are the things that eventually end your career. But at one point in time, 2 and 3 years ago, Jacob deGrom was one of the most dynamic pitchers in baseball.
No doubt.
And then he goes to the Texas Rangers. He's had injury issues, and he's kind of gotten lost in it. But the performance that he had last night, you only giving up 1 hit through 7 innings, and that was absolutely a tremendous outing by him because he only walked 2 guys. He struck out 7 in 7 innings. Tremendous performance for a Texas Rangers team right now that's trying to get back to 500 in a division where, again, it's pretty wide open for the most part.
Yeah, and then the Yankees finally get a win against the Reds in Cincinnati. I'm so glad they're going to get the hell out of there. Max Fried was on the mound for the Yanks, and first pitcher to get to 10 wins on the year. Joe, gotta say, I appreciate this contribution the Braves made to the Yankees bullpen.
Oh, again, it wasn't that the Braves made this contribution. It's the fact they just weren't going to match what the Yankees were paying. I mean, Max Fried was worth every bit of the money. His biggest thing was making adjustments back in, earlier in his career. That's the reason why, of all the great things that happened in 2021, whenever the Braves were winning the World Series, he was one of the biggest question marks going into the World Series because he'd gotten rocked by the Dodgers in the times that he had pitched. He got rocked by the Astros in his first go round. So it was a massive question mark when they were back in Houston for Game 6 of the World Series, and he finally made some adjustments. He is a tremendous pitcher. It was just the Braves weren't going to spend that money on him.
A lot of top players in this one. All right. Dominguez, he was 4 for 5. He had 2 doubles on top of that. He got 2 runs in and stole 2 bases on top of that. Grisham. And then also Jazz Chisholm, who, if you remember the night prior, got kicked out of the game because he was arguing ball strikes. It was fine. He was kind of let go. He was just like, it was a little bit of a warning. He goes back into the bullpen. He comes out. He starts chirping a little bit. He gets kicked out of the game. Yankees, of course, lose that game. Last night, though, the very end of this matchup, he was able to hit a home run, put it on, it was actually the top of the third. He homers 11th of the season, and this is really what gets the Yankees going. Whenever you have a guy that is electric, that's able to hit those home runs, the rest of the team is able to kind of revolve around him. Now, it didn't happen the other night with Aaron Judge, as he started off the game with a homer, but whenever you actually hit a homer and you got a guy on plate, so you get 2 or 3 runs, that's usually what energizes these teams. And, of course, it did that yesterday for the Yankees as they win 7-1 as they go on to have an off day. Now, you still have the Braves and the Mets tonight.
You know, 4th game.
Keep it coming, though.
And here's what's crazy is, and I know that obviously we had Chaney Johnson in here with Talking Ball earlier. I know if you're on ESPN Winchester, you weren't able to see that or hear it.
He chose to sit on the Alabama chair we have in the corner. I thought it was pretty funny.
Because you sit on the Bama chair, you don't put your butt on the Auburn logo. You put your butt on the other logo.
I mean, that's one way to look at it.
I mean, if you're going to pass gas on it, man, you just go ahead and just rip it right there on that elephant's face is what you're doing.
Come on.
I mean, look, I'm just being straight with you. I mean, that's the way that you should look at it. At
AU, more like PU.
256-576-977. And I know ESPN Winchester didn't get to hear this earlier because you did have Chaney Johnson in studio with Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, and WZZN TV. Obviously from the area, that's the reason why he was in. Denver Jones, I was talking to you about him, yesterday, was it?
You're like, I think I was standing right next to the Auburn player.
I literally ran right into him during over at a post office the other day. Just walk in, and it's easy to pick out the basketball players because young guy in amazing shape, rocking all official Auburn gear. You can kind of put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, it's probably standing at 6'5" or above.
Yeah, and I never seen Denver in person, so I had no idea.
Denver, I don't know how tall Denver is. I don't think is he?
Very.
I thought he was a little bit of a shorter player.
No,
look up his height.
I want to say that he kind of ducked a little bit when he walked in through the door.
Because Chaney came in here.
He's 6'4".
6'4", that's still so big.
Yeah.
I thought he was one of the smaller basketball players.
No, he's 6'4". He's 6'4". But I say all that because as much as we do not have a professional team in the state of Alabama, we have a lot of players that do go pro, and we kind of miss some of them. You know, we focus on the one from the Tennessee Valley, with a lot of players, obviously, that go to the NBA from here that we've mentioned a time or two. But the other part about the Mets game that kind of sucks is the fact that if you were going to beat the Braves, you had to do it with a guy from Alabama. I didn't even know Slocum High School was a thing. Like right now.
Where's that located?
It is located in the bottom right-hand corner of the state of Alabama. Only reason I know is because I pulled it up right now. It's right outside of Dothan. I have no idea.
Look, it's a big state, Joe. We go down to Birmingham, and that's probably about as far as we go.
I mean, look,
there's a lot of talent down there.
I have never in my life, and I've been it just hit me like a couple days ago. I've now officially been doing radio for over 20 years now, and through all the time of doing high school football, high school basketball, I can never remember a time where Slocum High School's name came across a crawl or came across somebody talking about how they're going far in a play. Never heard of them, ever. And Clay Holmes, who pitched for the Mets last night, he was the starter for the Mets, was drafted out of Slocum High School in Dothan. I mean, it's technically Slocum, Alabama, but he was drafted out of there back in like 2011. Had no idea. None. I mean, I knew when Gunnar Henderson was getting drafted by the Orioles because everybody around Montgomery was all excited about him because, again, he's this kid from Selma High School that was absolutely blowing up and just destroying baseballs.
Home of the Red Tops.
The Red Tops? Is it a circus?
No, it's like an Indian. The Red Tops.
Red Tops.
When's that name going to get changed?
I mean, again, look. Some people don't get his butt hurt about names like that anymore, like we did through like the PC era.
I don't think they're going to change their name ever because they have a hashtag Red Tops Forever.
Oh,
they straight up
Red Tops Forever.
Red Tops.
Somebody gets pissed.
Yeah,
one of the two is going to be happening. Never knew that there was a Slocum High School ever. And Clay Holmes gets drafted out of there in 2011, starts against the Braves last night and wins.
You got to do a little bit more research, Joe.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got to bone up on my Slocum High School. Fine. Before we get to high school football season, that's what we'll do. The fun John Abraham quiz game is going to be me finding random high schools, and I'm wanting you to either A, name the mascot, or B, tell me if it's a real high school in the state of Alabama or not.
I think we should extend this to the listeners as well. I think we should extend it, and we should give them an award, maybe some Trash Pandas tickets. Okay.
We have some. Yeah, we have some that we could be giving away.
And then maybe, it's an extra sponsorship for our sponsor, Fleming Roofing and Restoration. The guys you needed to talk to yesterday if you had any roofing problems, because it rained this morning. And now it's going to be extremely humid and hot. Well, what's new? It's just how it is. You can find them at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up. You guys also remember that tomorrow we are going to be on location. It's going to be at
Bobcat
Huntsville. I was trying to think of how I wanted to word it. We're going to be on location at Highway 20 at Bobcat Huntsville, but we're going to be there to show off their brand new location, their new digs. As there's going to be equipment driving around, there's going to be food, there's going to be door prizes, all of that great stuff for you. I got the tent ready, so all you got to do is drive on by. It's on its way. You go past good old Trash Panda Stadium, and you'll be able to see it. But make sure you get off of Highway 20. It's right next to the Harley-Davidson.
So researching this, Slocum High School has never won a state championship.
Well, I think it's like a 2A school.
It doesn't matter. I'm just saying that they never, according to the research that I've done right now, they have never won a state championship in any sport.
Well, do your research on the break, Joe.
Look, man, this all plays into it because, again, I didn't even know the school was there. I didn't want to disrespect a team and then look it up, and they're like, the 5 Red Devils over here, and they have like 32 straight state championships that I didn't know about.
Well, they got nothing, so, I mean, they do have a few draft picks, I'm guessing.
Now barely. They have Clay Holmes. They have no state championships, but they have Clay Holmes.
Do you know of any schools that we should know that have draft picks or should be notable? Let us know. 256-576-977 is the number to get in. We're going to hop into a break. talk about a few more high schools that you guys need to know of because they're shelling out some recruits into the SEC. And Drew DeArmond from Talking Ball is going to be joining us. So don't go anywhere because the fun has just begun on this Thursday edition of the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester, and WZZN TV.
Phone lines are open now. 256-576-4977. This is the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The Braves roll into the 2025 season with a singular focus. Bring home the division title and remind the league what Atlanta is all about.
Swung on, driven to left center field and deep. That baby's out of here. Austin Riley. 3-0 to Olsen, and he powers one. Deep right center field to the wall. It's going to fly. It's a home run. Back-to-back homers.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beams likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa, starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
I'm here with our good friend, John Kendall. He's got 23 years of retail mortgage experience in the Tennessee Valley, and he's powered up with the #1 retail mortgage lender in the nation.
That's right, Scott. We have joined with Cross Country Mortgage, and that is true. We're the #1 retail mortgage lender in America. And with that powerhouse team and our experience here locally, we're ready to go.
They've got 120 mortgage, refinance, and home equity solutions to fit every need. If you call on Cross Country Mortgage, it is for the win.
That's right. You can reach me, Scott, at 256-562-3780, or you can go to crosscountrymortgage.com and then search my name.
It's Cross Country Mortgage and John Kendall, a powerhouse team. One more time, John.
That's crosscountrymortgage.com, 256-562-3780. If we can't close your loan, it simply cannot be closed.
Equal Housing Opportunity Company in MLS, number 3029.
Your Fox 54 weather brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
Chief Meteorologist Storton Dressman. Temperatures drop into the lower 70s as we head into the overnight. A partly sunny sky as we head into your Friday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible. Temperatures climbing into the lower 90s. Some of those thunderstorms could be a little stronger. A partly sunny sky once again as we head into your Saturday. Temperatures climbing into the lower 90s. Scattered showers and thunderstorms once again across the Tennessee Valley.
Your Fox 54 weather only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You texted the phone number, the info. I wouldn't count.
So as we're sitting here, and I'm hopping straight in over John.
Well, no, actually, you didn't do that. Drew did that.
Well, Drew did that because Drew and I have been talking about a lot of things, and the mic was on. That's why I'm muted for just a second.
What up, Drew?
So make sure.
What's up?
So Drew DeArmond joins us in studio right now. We normally on Friday, but with Drew is going to be out of town on Friday, so we moved him up to today. Brought to you by McCurry Motors and Alumni Hall. And so Drew and I were still talking about Slocum High School.
Yeah, the Red
during
Tops.
the breaks. Here's the sad thing about this, and I look over across the studio at you, John. How did you not know anything about Clay Holmes?
I knew he was a reliever. I knew he'd been the closer for the Yankees. I
know Clay Holmes.
I was just curious because you as we're talking about it, you were like, yeah. I'm like, he's been the Yankees closer for the last 3 years.
Yeah, it was huge whenever he moved to the New York Mets.
He's got 6+ years of service time in the major leagues now.
Yeah, but it's like I'm not going to know where he came from originally back in 2011.
No, but I'll be perfectly honest. I didn't realize that they had moved. That he had left the Yankees and he was becoming a starting pitcher because I think pretty much all his time in the major leagues up to this point has been as a reliever.
Yeah, he has the last 3 seasons with the Yankees. He had 20 saves, 24 saves, and 30 saves. Before that, he had only had 4 starts in his entire major league career until this season, where he has started 16 games for the Mets.
Yeah,
he used to be with Steeler Mike. He used to be a Pirate.
Yeah.
See, the amount of times some of these pitchers move, though, I mean, it's like I'm not going to be able to keep up with all of them. Clay Holmes is a different story. But the story wasn't about him moving from the New York Yankees to the Mets. It was about his high school that you brought up just randomly out of nowhere.
Well, it's because they started talking about, Clay Holmes out of Alabama.
Yeah.
And I was
so
like,
it wasn't too rare.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, hold up. Because again, like Drew and I were just talking, there's a lot of players from the state of Alabama that we forget are in professional sports.
Oh, and a lot of them used to be from Alabama going to the University of Alabama. It was the way that Nick Saban loved to recruit. It was just around the area. He strictly focused on the Southeast. But now it's kind of changed into a different thing with a new coach and Kalen DeBoer and him coming out from Washington. He's going to be getting a lot of those kids from out west. And that was a huge note in his first year. But now in his second year, you see that there's a mixed bag of some of these Southeast kids coming back to the team, a lot of them from Georgia. And Drew, I know you've been following a lot of it. Tell us a little bit about some of the updates that you've been rocking with.
Well, no, we talked to Rodney Orr today of TiderInsider.com, and it's going to be a really action-packed next 2 weeks. And it's going to go all the way up to July the 5th with Jariah Edwards, the top safety in the country from St. Francis High School, or Academy, I should say, out in Baltimore, Maryland, very likely choosing the University of Alabama. But today, just for instance, it will be after all of our programming. Sorry, everyone, on ESPN 97.7 The Zone, but certainly keep up with our social media. But certainly, there's a couple of big time names that are going to announce today. One a little after 6 p.m. in the port city of Mobile. Jackson Aggie, and they're the Aggies. They're the defending 4A football state champions. Xavier Crowell, who was probably the number 1 running back in the class in 2027. He's reclassified to 2026. He's still considered probably a top 2 to 3 back in the class. He's going to choose amongst, he had a plethora of suitors. I mean, certainly Auburn wanted him badly. Alabama spent a long time recruiting him since Kalen DeBoer and their staff got here. Texas Longhorns, which has probably been the stiffest competition, had him on campus for a visit. I know Oregon, when their national brand has been involved. But I think it's really going to come down tonight to either Alabama or Texas. I think Alabama has the edge. Of course, you can never count your chickens before they hatch, so to speak, in the NIL era. But as of right now, I think Alabama feels really good about Xavier Crowell. And then they've been recruiting a kid since last year, Max Sutter, a tight end from the state of Illinois. I know that Bert Bielema, as I like to call him, he's been recruiting him heavily. And if you look at Brett Bielema's career, he's developed tight ends and running backs very well. But Max Sutter, Ohio State's been after him, but Alabama's had him on campus on multiple occasions. And I think he's going to announce tonight. And I think after Xavier, I think Xavier's a little after 6 p.m. Central Time. I believe what I saw last night, Max Sutter, as of now, is It's a 7:45 Central. I don't know what venue he's going to be at, how it's going to be set up, but I think Sutter is going to commit to Alabama as well. So Alabama could get two big pieces of the puzzle. I think they're at 10 commitments right now. That would take them to 12. They're ranked in the top 11. But if you look at the long list of players that, they could get, I mean, I know you guys talk to, 24/7 a lot, on 3 a lot. I know y'all had Pete Nakos on yesterday. He's a national insider for them. I know BamaOnline.com, part of On 3, they have put in 7 what they call RPM predictions, which is what the crystal ball, whatever you want to say, that they think Alabama is going to pick up 7 players. It's the first 2 starting today, but we kind of talked with Rodney Orr about that. I just mentioned Jariah Edwards. I think that they also are going to pick up 3 wide receivers in the next several days. Owen Cabell from Nashville Presbyterian. And I know you guys watched a lot of football growing up. Rodney Orr pointed out a very interesting fact that former Florida quarterback Ingle Martin, back from the days of Ron Zook, and when he in the early 2000s, he was a very heavily recruited player. Ingle Martin is his head coach, who's originally from the Nashville area. So Owen Cabell is going to commit in the next few days, and then is C.D. Morgan, who's the top prospect in the state from Benjamin Russell High School, 6'5" wide receiver, and then Brian Williams Jr. It looks like back-to-back days. Cabell, I think, is this weekend, but we will see. And then, because that can change, and then the other 2, Brian Williams Jr. is July the 1st, and then C.D. Morgan July the 2nd. So Alabama was only going to take 2 to 3 wide receivers in this class anyway, because Jeremy Bernard is a senior, as we know, and will be moving on. And then you never know. You could lose a guy to the transfer portal. But it's really still a relatively young group, because Ryan Williams is not draft eligible. We all know that. Hey, did you know he's only 18 years old? That's going to be the next thing. So, so Alabama, I don't think will be trying to sign a 4, 5, 6 man wide receiver group. I think it'll be 3. And really, last year it was small, because Latsier Brooks is going to be a huge part of things, and what he does as a freshman this year. And Derek Meadows, I think he's going to be a big time prospect. But I think they knew they didn't need a big wide receiver class. Sutter will be the tight end. I think they might take another one. They recruited the likes of Caden Prothrow from the state of Georgia, who's likely going to stay home, stay in state. They recruited Mark Bowman, who is the number 1 tight end in the country from Mater Dei. He's going to stay home, play at USC, but Sutter's a guy they really like a lot. And they're losing a couple of tight ends. Cuevas from Washington, the transfer, is a senior going into this year. Brody Dalton, former Fife Red Devil, Death Taxes and the Fife Red Devils. He's come over from Troy. He'll be a senior, so they'll probably take another tight end, but that's a position I think they can take their time after they get Sutter in place. What's going to define the class, though, and Rodney Orr kind of referenced that too, is they need to close the deal and sign some offensive and defensive linemen. They have Samuel Utu committed right now. They've got a couple of defensive linemen. They got J.J. Finch the other day from Warren Central in Indianapolis, who looks like he's going to be a really good player. Jamarian Matthews, you guys watched. He's going to beef up and be a defensive lineman. And speaking of that, his new teammate, now he's in Gainesville, Georgia, Xavier Griffin, he will be committing in the next few days. I think very likely I think Sunday could be it for Xavier. And he is a guy that right now it's another Texas-Alabama battle, but I think Alabama feels pretty good about where they are. Xavier's a guy that is going to probably end up as an inside backer. And then another linebacker from Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa, Zay Hall, who got hurt last year against the Hoover Bucks. He only played in about 3 games. He's 6'1", 230 pounds. I think he ran a 4.5 at Alabama's camp. There's not a definitive date, but Rodney Orr kind of hinted that in the next day or 2, you wouldn't be surprised to see Zay Hall. So I guess in summary, what I'm trying to say is by the July 5th, the day after July 4th, when we're all hopefully having hot dogs, hamburgers, and watching fireworks, I think Alabama could easily move into the top 3 in the country in recruiting because they've got 10 right now. Say they get all the way up to 17 or 18 by then. Heck, first of all, 3/4 of your recruiting class is done. And if you can hold on to those guys, but then they would have a very, very good chance to me to stack a top 3-4 class that they had a year ago and stack it with another one. And in this NIL portal era, if you can stack classes, and that's what Hugh Freeze is trying to do. Now, Hugh, first of all those rumors, there's been some rumors going around about him resigning and stuff like that, or because of his health. That's
I think he's just golfing.
That's not true. He has been on the golf course, but there's been a lot of stuff being used against him because of the cancer diagnosis. But suppose that is all going well from what I understand. That his health is fine, but it comes down to this, and it's been a topic on this show quite a bit. You got to win.
Absolutely.
That's why they're down to 5 commitments. Eventually, they have had 2 good classes back to back, but you have to win.
Yep.
This game against Baylor is it's so important for them to go, because guess what? Both these coaches going into this game are relatively – Hugh is not on the hot seat yet, but could easily end up there. And we all know Dave Aranda is. I mean, a lot of people thought he was going to get canned after last year. So this opener at 8 o'clock, I believe it is, it's a late night kick at Baylor.
It's an early – they moved it up.
Yeah, so they better win this game. Is it on a Friday or is it Saturday still?
No, it is actually on August 29th is when it is, and I believe that is a Friday.
Is it? I think it is. I thought it.
Yes, it's a Friday kick.
Yeah,
7 o'clock on
Friday Night Lights. Baylor hosting Auburn. They need that game badly because they need to start showing progress. They need to do what I thought they'd do last year. I thought they'd win 8, and it was awful. And so they lost so many close games. They need to win. If they can win, then I think their recruiting will pick up. I think it'll be like Florida last year, because Florida's was in the tank in September and then ended up in the top 10. So Auburn's can easily turn around, but they need to win games. They haven't won in almost half a decade. Yeah. So when you think about that, and they've been, and then they haven't been beating Alabama. They've had so many gut-wrenching losses. But I mean, their last victory was in 2019 in that 48-45 game.
Yeah, some other teams that have been making some headway on the portal that can challenge possibly an Alabama squad. Auburn, of course, still working towards it, but Texas A&M, of Georgia, of course, and on top of that, Texas, all kind of sitting in the top 10 ranks of the 24/7 Sports. What do you know about those schools?
Well, I mean, I'm not surprised. Texas is, that they're all in. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is the last year. A lot of people think of what they would call the Major League Baseball model, which is unlimited payroll, just how much you want to spend. And so I know they've done the revenue share, but it doesn't go into effect until this next coming month anyway. So Texas has really gone all in within the portal and in the recruiting class. And I'm not surprised Sark's recruiting well. Sark has a lot of resources at Texas, and they've made the playoff 2 years in a row. And they've got Arch Manning. So now Coach Spurrier, he brought up a good point with Pat Dooley. Well, if he's so good, Pat, why was he sitting behind a 7th round pick? But you can't forget Quinn Ewers 3 or 4 years ago was the number 1 player in America. Okay. And then he went to Ohio State, couldn't beat out them cats, came back home. Texas was not rolling yet, and Arch was still in high school. And the one thing you got to understand about Mannings, they're different. None of them have ever cared, the whole family, about we got to play the first minute we on campus. But first of all, they're financially stable. And second of all, they understand about development. I got to give the Manning family credit for that. Eli saw it all the way through. Peyton saw it all the way through. Cooper would have seen it all the way through. And they all and we all know what Peyton and Eli did as number 1 overall picks. So they're not worried about the here and now and got to have it right now. Like, develop. And I think that's the best way to handle it. And I think Sark is one of the best quarterback developers in college football.
Now, I'm curious when it comes to the recruiting side, because I feel like ever since the transfer portal kind of became the big thing, the recruiting side, as far as bringing freshmen in, is kind of dwindled when it came to people paying attention to it. Are you seeing
in some
that?
ways? I think it's kind of funny the way the cycle works now. It comes in waves. like you pay attention to the portal in January and then after spring practice, because it's had the 2 windows. Now I think that's about to come to an end. They're about to have one, but the portal has taken on so much importance that February is forgotten, like that second signing period. But then in recruiting, if you're talking about high school and junior college prospects, all the focus comes in May and June, especially when they can get on campus in June and visit. Now we're in the middle of, we had Sonny Ship on this week from LSU, a 38-day dead period, guys, until, they come out of July and then you get into August. But then you got fall camp. But see, that's why a lot of these kids, they visit in June, and then we're talking about this rapid fire bunch of commitments from Alabama. You'll see a lot of the hay get in the barn in the summer, like Sark at Texas. You just mentioned how highly rated their class is. Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia. They're going to try to get 3/4 of the hay in the barn. Then maybe during the season, finish out the class, but then try like hell to get everybody to sign in December, because again, then you worry about the portal after you get these guys to sign. And remember, it's kind of been moving around, but it's still basically early to mid-December. So you're done with that. And in many cases, like Kirby has been very transparent, you already have the guys committed. You're just trying to keep them committed to get the name on the paper and get them in school. And then you are focusing somewhat on the next recruiting class, but what you're really focusing on is, okay, dog, who's going pro and who are we targeting in the transfer portal? That's where it's changed. That's what's made it. You recruit 365 days a year, but you really do that now because you're trying to re-recruit your own roster. And then if you have to, Dabo's even learning this, you have to see who's out there and, hey, how can we get better quickly and fill a few holes in the portal?
I feel like the transfer portal kind of meets society now, where it's that instant gratification, that instant change. It's, oh, hey, we picked up 25 guys in the transfer portal. We have the number 2 transfer portal class. And it's like, wait a second.
Now they're ranking portal class.
Yeah, now they're ranking it. Like now, whenever I'll go to 24/7, you have your national signing day class and you have your transfer portal class.
Well, and you follow them on social media. And we've had Chris Hummer on the show several times on Talking Ball. Chris Hummer's job, his 24-hour a day, he just got married too. Shout out to him. But his job, and Matt Zenitz, who he works closely with, who used to work at AL.com, is the portal and the coaching carousel. Matt, especially with Matt, the coaching carousel, but the portal is a 24-hour a day, 7-day-a-week job that they're monitoring all the time to keep up with, and your guy, Pete Nakos, he's for On 3. He does that. And Pete's talking to a lot of kids like Castellanos, but Castellanos, look, he was in the portal. He's been in the portal multiple times. He started out at UCF, went to BC. Now he's finishing his career at Florida State. So his job is basically to find out, okay, what's the buzz coming out of the portal? Who may be hopping elsewhere? It's not even really a high school recruiting. Other guys handle that, like Steve Wiltfong, who and then for Chad Simmons as well. Those guys are your national guys. Andrew Ivins for 24/7. Yeah. But the transfer portal has become its own entity very, very quickly, and it's something you got to pay attention to.
It's so funny you mentioned Nakos just a second ago. He just released his latest article because he's been going around talking to ACC quarterbacks. Today, the article that he's releasing is on K Klubnik. And in the article, it says, guys, he goes, I have so much respect for players who stay loyal to the university. Guys like Arch Manning, Garrett Nussmeier, Drew Aller, and Ty Simpson. Yeah. He goes, the guys that believe in the program and believe in the culture that they're at, that's the reason why those are 4 of the best quarterbacks in college football right now. That's literally what you were talking about when it comes to somebody like Cassianos being like, this guy jump ship every single opportunity that he has. Then you have the other side of this where these 4 quarterbacks, 5 counting Klubnik, have been loyal to the university and grown in the program.
Well, and another thing that can be used against Hugh Freeze is you go back and look at his time at Liberty and at Ole Miss and now at Auburn. He's always taken quarterbacks out of the portal or the junior college system.
He's not a developer of talent.
He's a play caller.
Yeah.
He and Gus Malzahn, and I think even Lane Kiffin, they are play callers. That's not taking a shot. I'm just saying they know how to build offenses after they figure out what their quarterback is good at. But if you're talking about developing a quarterback, developing him as a passer, his fundamentals, his ability to read defenses, things of that nature.
Help him grow.
That's a Sarkisian, a Kalen DeBoer, those kind of people. You know what I'm saying?
But and look who you just named. You named these coaches that are winning are the ones that are developing, and the ones that are winning but not getting to the college football playoff. Those are the ones that are looking for the quick fixes.
Yeah.
And the instant gratifications and the instant, hey, let's plug and play this guy in, and I don't have to worry about trying to teach him anything because he already knows it. Like that's what Jackson Arnold had right now. And again, this is all speculation. If we were to watch Jackson Arnold's throwing motion, the way that he looked at defenses in 2024, and then the way that he's been doing it in the summer, in spring camp, and even now going into the fall, do we believe that there would be any difference in the two seasons?
I mean, it's going to depend on the talent around the quarterback.
Absolutely.
And then a lot of Jackson's problem last year too was a lot of the receivers and the skill guys at OU were hurt, and their offensive line was god awful.
Was against Auburn that they had like 6 guys out, and they still beat Auburn. They had like 6 of their wide receivers out.
Now, but with Hugh, they've got to get better, though. They've got 2 new offensive tackles from Virginia Tech and USC, respectively. Can Auburn finally figure that out? That's been since the end of the last 3 or 4 years of the Gus Malzahn era. Brian Harsin for the 2 brief years, and then even with Hugh, they can't find offensive tackles that have been good enough.
Yeah,
I mean, you've got to, and Auburn's offensive line has struggled. I mean, you have to be good along the lines of scrimmage, and that's why I like Sark. And there's been a lot of people they try to create content during the off season. One of the questions somebody asked yesterday, who was a better OC at Alabama, Sark or Kiffin? And I picked Sark, because he was committed to physicality, he was committed to the running game, and he did a great job developing quarterbacks. And because, again, he played a huge role in Mac Jones being ready to go, because Tua was a special talent. He helped recruit Tua, but Mac Jones became a first-round pick too, and he did a great job of building offenses. And then you saw all the skill guys, the Najee Harrises, the Devontae Smiths, the Waddles, they're supremely talented, but they got better every year too. And to me, when I look at Kiffin, he did a great job of but building offenses. But and then they talk about Blake Sims, but Blake Sims didn't become a pro,
right?
But what he did was he built an offense around Blake so he could be a really good college player. There's a little bit different, and even Lane will tell you, he didn't coach the quarterbacks as much as he did the wide receivers and the other skill people. And then I didn't like the way Lane ran the ball at Alabama, except for the year with Derrick Henry. And he had to basically morph into Sark that year because you have a guy made of iron who's the best player in the country that you've got to feed.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, he liked to get too cute sometime with the running game. And that's why he and Nick Saban butted heads all the time.
Yeah. No doubt. But then he goes on to win a Heisman Trophy.
Both were outstanding offensive coordinators, but just give me Sark's style. I like it. And then if I was there when a couple years ago when Sark came to Tuscaloosa and won the game, with Alabama had a slight lead by the end of the third quarter, but they won in the fourth because Sark pounded the rock, and they continued. And then their defensive line wore down Alabama's front. And, and of course, Milroe turned it over. But still, it was an upfront game, line of scrimmage game. And to me, that's where Lane Kiffin has come up short in some big games where he tries to throw the ball too much, even against Hugh Freeze and Ole Miss in the 5-turnover game. The last turnover, you should have been feeding Derrick Henry. He had Jake Coker, who had the flu and was sick. He tried to throw the football when Derrick needed the ball more, and it led to a Robert Kimdichie he bulldozed a future All-Pro Ryan Kelly, the center, and put his helmet in the chest of Jake Coker, which led to an interception when they should have been running the football because they had worn out Ole Miss's defense, even with all the turnovers, because they were feeding Derrick Henry. And that's why he apologized to Derrick after that game. And if you watched Alabama's season, therefore after, Derrick Henry's getting 30 carries because unlike a lot of running backs, Derrick Henry he can rotate, but he's he's a different breed.
Oh, absolutely is.
No doubt.
And so that's what you had to figure out.
Drew DeArmond from Talking Ball has been our guest. Drew, always appreciate you hopping on with us and being a little bit flexible this week.
Always good, guys. I'm going to be on a bus tomorrow to Lake Point. We're going to wrap up the summer for Huntsville High basketball-wise. And like we said, before we know it, heck, man, now we're getting ready for Atlanta and SEC Media Days. It'll be another fun time, no doubt about it. It's always a great week, a tiring one, a lot of long days.
I've been adjusted to it now, though, because all the Talking Ball shows
fun.
have been able to
There's
do
no
it.
doubt about it. I mean, I just don't want to have to drive all night like we did for the Super Bowl and be up for like 24 straight hours.
Yeah, I'm glad I got somewhat of an experience on that when we went to Dallas. But either way, Drew, great stuff, man. Looking forward to next week and your guys' little cookout at B Rich's.
You guys come by afterwards, man. I mean, B Rich is a really good barbecue.
Not too far away from my house. I thought
really
you guys
not.
were way out there. I'm gonna be honest.
If anybody knows, I'll just one hint I'll give you is it's if you know where Mountain Gap Middle School
That's
is.
what I was about to say. Is this the same house that you guys did the
the turkey cook-off, man.
Cook-off
the
for
fried
after
turkey.
Thanksgiving.
Man, that was
dangerous
unbelievable.
game right there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd never had a fried turkey. And
They're gonna
boy,
have-
was it good.
I mean, the show starts early enough. You could have fireworks beforehand.
Ooh,
Oh, man.
I'm just.
Let's just hope the weather doesn't be annoying.
Well,
Drew,
we're in a garage, so even if it is, B Rich will be prepared.
yeah. Well, fireworks in the garage might be a little different.
Well, we don't need
Yeah, I
fireworks
think that's
in the
bad. I
garage.
think that'd be bad.
All right, Drew. Good stuff, man.
right, man.
You get out of here and have a
Thanks,
wonderful
guys.
rest of your day. We're
You
gonna
guys
hop
have a good weekend.
into a break. We definitely will, with all of the baseball that we've been watching and also all of the prep we have going into the football season. But we're going to continue the conversation on the other side. So don't go anywhere because you're listening to the Blitz here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester, and WZZN TV.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham. You can watch the Blitz live now on X at 97.7 ESPN.
This is Brent Musburger's VSIN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
The Mets over the Braves 7-3 yesterday at Citi Field. Griffin Canning gets the ball today for the Mets. He's 7-3 with a 3.91 ERA. Mets $1.12 favorite against Grant Holmes, who's 4-6, a 3.71 earned run average. The Braves minus 108, 900 the total at Citi Field. Ryan Blaney 8-1 to win the Quaker State 400 Saturday night at Atlanta. Friday night Atlanta. Austin Hill, the plus 220 favorites, win the Xfinity Series race and the Truck Series race on Saturday at Lime Rock Park in Connecticut. Corey Heim is the plus 130 favorite. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our Workhorse Special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. But hurry, this offer is only good through June 30th. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor. We're here for you.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. We're extremely proud that Baumhauer's Victory Grill has been serving Alabama for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhauer's Victory Grill, legendary fun, legendary food.
Your Fox 54 weather, brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible through the heart of the afternoon, early into the evening. Some of those could be stronger. Still, temperatures climbing into the mid-90s, dropping into the lower 70s as we head into the overnight. A partly sunny sky with scattered showers and thunderstorms. Once again, as we head into your Friday, highs in the low 90s.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
With the devil in malevolent as I've ever been headed spinning this medicine screaming like a
Something to be said about the transfer portal and the recruiting scene, all of this stuff. One thing I look at is the cover of the college football game, Joe.
So,
you look at last year's cover, the only guy who didn't transfer that was on that was Donovan Edwards. He stayed at Michigan for 4 years. Of course, he was on the cover for his fourth year. And then you had Quinn Ewers and Travis Hunter. Those two, of course, transferred to the schools that they would find the most success with. But this year, you get two fresh recruits on the cover in Ryan Williams and, of course, Jeremiah Smith. So, I mean, there's two things to be said there, all right? I think that both can work in your favor. The thing is, which is the right? Is that even a question to really throw at them? If they've got the option, they're going to take it. And I think that it's great to stay with the school, but if the time comes and you don't see yourself playing, Joe, you got to get out of the house and you got to find somewhere where you will play.
Well, and I think that also comes down to the money side of it. Like Castellanos, he has a great season for Boston College, and he's going to make more money in the state of Florida than anything else. Look, we got to look at this like a professional sport now. There's no state income tax in the state of Florida. So whatever money he's going to make, he doesn't have to pay taxes on it the same way that he does in Massachusetts.
Exactly.
So, those are types of deals that you look at when it comes to some of these moves where your state of Texas, your state of Florida, there's Tennessee, all of those states that don't have state income taxes. That's a bigger deal.
No doubt.
Because, $7 million, which after taxes turns into, say, $5 million, state of Florida, it's $7 million. $2 million's a lot.
More college football conversation on the other side. We'll be right back.
More math.
This is the Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. 256-576-4977.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Mike Owen at Owen Home Appliance Center. You know it's hot outside, so cool down with an upright or chest freezer in stock at Owen Home Appliance Center. And don't let those beverages get hot. Get an under-counter ice machine with a built-in pump for just $12.99. Or how about a fridge out by the pool or in the garage for extra cold drinks? You can get a scratch and dent 18 cubic foot refrigerator for just $3.49 while supplies last. Go to OwenAppliance.com to learn more. That's OwenAppliance.com.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal. And we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beams likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
This is Brent Musburger's VSIN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
The Mets over the Braves 7-3 yesterday at Citi Field. Griffin Canning gets the ball today for the Mets. He's 7-3 with a 3.91 ERA. Mets $1.12 favorite against Grant Holmes, who's 4-6, a 3.71 earned run average. The Braves minus 108, 900 the total at Citi Field. Ryan Blaney 8-1 to win the Quaker State 400 Saturday night at Atlanta. Friday night Atlanta. Austin Hill, the plus 220 favorite to win the Xfinity Series race and the Truck Series race on Saturday at Lime Rock Park in Connecticut. Corey Heim is the plus 130 favorite. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
Chief Meteorologist Storton Dressman. Temperatures drop into the lower 70s as we head into the overnight. A partly sunny sky as we head into your Friday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible. Temperatures climbing into the lower 90s. Some of those thunderstorms could be a little stronger. A partly sunny sky once again as we head into your Saturday. Temperatures climbing into the lower 90s. Scattered showers and thunderstorms once again across the Tennessee Valley.
Your Fox 54 weather only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, third hour, best hour. Stop it.
Oh, come on now.
Stop it.
It's a team effort.
Stop it.
Okay, I'll stop.
Second hour, final hour, best hour. Okay, there we go.
Had a great conversation with Drew DeArmond in the last hour.
Yes, we did.
Drew had a great conversation with a friend of ours, Cheney Johnson, in the second hour of Talking Ball. So if you guys missed out on that, go and subscribe to WZZN TV. He was in studio. Let me tell you, in studio. I had to go down, open the door for him. He hops out of his car. Then he hops out of his car. Then he hops out of his car. Then he's finally out of his car. He comes up to me.
How many cars did he hop out of?
Just one car, but he's just a tall man. And then walked inside. And I forget that I was taking pictures of this guy while he was playing at UAH just like a few years ago. It was just like 2 or 3 years ago. To think that he is now an NBA prospect is crazy to believe. And he had a wonderful conversation with Drew and Scott earlier on in the day. So definitely subscribe to WZZN TV so you don't miss out on any of that. And if you do want to go back and listen to any shows with the highest of quality, maybe not our show yesterday because I forgot to press record.
Look, man, it happens.
We still got the audio going for it, though, over on our website, 977ESPN.com, where you can also find our wonderful Big Zone deals, whether you just want a little snack on the side from a place like Bigfoot's Little Donuts, or you can get a whole rack of ribs from the plethora of barbecue places that we have on the site and so much more. And let me tell you, Joe, I can already smell the full moon that's right down the road from us.
And since we're already going down this road right now, it is phone numbers 256-576-977, and always brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Guys, you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online. FlemingHSV.com is the place to find them. And remember that Fleming always shows up. Joe, did you see the Shipley's Donut? Because we haven't given an update on it. I know one of the callers asked the Talking Ball guys to update them. None of us have given an update on this place that we pass almost every single day. You might not.
I'm going to say, what are we talking about?
You're coming from the north side. I come from the south side. All right.
Yeah, I'm a northerner.
No, you're not.
No, nowhere close.
Don't say that. The Shipley's Donuts, though, I mean, it's not made, but the structure, the foundational structure is up for the Shipley's Donut complex. So it is probably, I would say, 13% there. So 13%. I know a lot of people love some Shipley's Donuts, and it will soon be here in Huntsville, right down the road from us. And, of course, Costco, that special store that Joe likes to go to every once in a while.
You got to be a member to get in there, guys. Okay.
It's an exclusive club, like $64 a year. Golly.
I mean, yeah, you gotta be, it's very exclusive, and you get all these other things. I still forgot to go by there yesterday and get some of those quarter zips that I told you about. Yeah, I totally forgot.
Well, good, because you got to take me.
Apparently, I got to take a whole group of people. I had text messages yesterday. Hey, man, can you take me to this special club? Like, I want to go to the special club.
It's not Sam's Club.
No, it's still a club, though. It's not called a club.
It's a cult. I would say it's a cult.
No, it's not a cult.
The Costco cult.
I don't think Costco people like snub their nose at Sam's Club people. Do they? They're like, it's the exact same.
It's not the exact same. That's like being, oh, well, my football team's Alabama. Well, my football team's Auburn. They're the exact same. They both play football. Different colors, different stores.
Colors.
Different place, and different colors is the biggest one.
They have the same stuff, though, don't they?
No, I don't think Sam's Club has the amount of Pokemon cards that Costco has.
Is that your defining factor?
I wish I had a membership, Joe. So
I used to be a Sam's Club guy, but then I had to go by and look at the Pokemon, and that did it in for me.
Sam's Club is like Walmart, all right?
Well, because it's owned by the same people.
Costco is its own entity.
Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. It's the same place.
Still going to be arguments about which one's
all
better.
You do. No, I'm talking about with Sam's Club and Walmart. Like, you literally are getting the exact same stuff that you get at Walmart in bulk.
256-576-9777. We're going to start a Costco Sam's Club war on this show. Just this show. Don't call into Tom's show and say that Sam's Club is better than the other. I don't think Tom has either one of them. He stays true to what he goes to, and that's not Aldi's, which is what I go to. No sponsorship by any.
I'm about to say you're just still naming places off. I was just like, okay.
Hey, I'm not afraid to do it. Unlike ESPN, whenever they're talking about the biggest game to start off the season, where are we going to put Lee Corso? Oh, let's just take him away from his alma mater.
Okay.
And put him in Ohio State and let him put on that big old Buckeye hat again.
Okay, so
Family's not happy about
Are
it.
they really this upset about this?
The family is upset about it. They
Why?
are. Because this is his last show, and they wanted him to go to the school that he played quarterback for and graduated from, which is Florida State. And I don't blame him. This Florida State game has just gotten more and more enticing thanks to what Thomas Castellanos has had to say. Alabama, Florida State, what's better than that? Oh, Ohio State's going to have a good game.
Okay, it's Alabama, Florida State, but it's Florida State that barely even won 2 games last year, right?
Every single year is a different year now. All right, Joe, we're not talking about the same teams. This is just like whenever they moved on from that 14-0 season, that next year, completely revamped roster. The same things happening this year. And the same could be said for any other school that we're looking at.
But I also look at this as college game day outside of 1 or 2 weeks a year where they'll go to like an FCS game or they'll go to a random game that doesn't not have more meaning to it, but it's more about the story as far as the city, the university, and all that. They're always going to go to the biggest game. And I know that you look at Florida State and Alabama's going to be ranked in the top 10.
Yeah.
Is Florida State?
No.
Okay. But Ohio State and Texas, that's a top 5 matchup. And this top 25 hasn't even come out just yet when it comes to preseason rankings.
Oh, these are top 5 teams.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this could be like top 3 matchup.
Look, I'm leaning towards what the families had to say just because I'm an Alabama fan and I love to see College Game Day be on location for an Alabama game to end it all off. Now, is this going to mean a good thing for Florida State if they did? Well, not really, because Florida State is 17-19 all time whenever the show is in attendance. And also the last show was back in 2014 whenever this school was, I would say, probably at the highest because, of course, the national championship berth with Jameis Winston and all of that good stuff. But, you can't say that the school's really tripped up too much with that 14-0 season. But then you had to have what happened next. It was gross.
Well, they're sending him to arguably the biggest game in college football that week. It's not like he's going to UNA in Western Kentucky.
Golly.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Where are you going?
I mean, like, that's what I'm saying is he's not going and watching North Dakota and Kansas State.
I'm just saying you could flip a coin, and I don't think anybody would complain about either one of these games being the final destination for Lee Corso.
And I understand the sentimental value as far as, wanting him to go to Florida State and how they'd be making it a big deal and all of that. I get that part. I truly do. And honestly, I was surprised that they didn't choose Florida State's and Alabama over it just because of the helmet matchup. But it's also Ohio State and Texas.
You're not wrong. If I want to know, though, I really want to know what Lee Corso's opinion would be on which game he would want to finish off.
Are they going? It's not Morgan State and South Alabama. Like, I'm going through all the week 1 matchups.
It's not going to be those. It's between 2 of them, Joe.
But that's what I'm saying.
Florida State was his alma mater. All right. Whenever you look at an Alabama, whatever you were just bringing up, that's not going to be relevant whatsoever.
Right. So I would have understood the argument if they were going to one of the games that I just mentioned, like UNA and Western Kentucky. Like, why did you choose that over Alabama and Florida State? I get that. But you're also talking about a top 3 matchup.
I get it. I get it.
In any other time, look, there have been times through college football season where a 1 and 2 are playing each other, and then College Game Day would go somewhere else. You're going, why? Why did y'all go there? Well, we've been to the Big Ten a couple of times in a row, so we got to switch it up a little bit. It's still the biggest game in the country. It's where all the eyes are. Like, that's what I'm saying is I can get the families upset about it, but at the same time, you have to look at it from ESPN's standpoint.
It's been nearly 40 years. Lee Corso has helped run this show, and he has been the centerpiece of this show. I would let him choose where he wanted to go. And maybe he did want to go to Ohio State versus Texas because you know what? A lot of those great memories from the past have come from him putting a Buckeye on his head.
I say, wasn't that the first mascot head that he put on? Was the nut?
Back in the 50s, this guy was a quarterback. This guy graduated from Florida State. Now, I'm an Alabama fan wanting this to be the last location. I'm not alone on this. Florida State fans also wanted Lee Corso to be on location for this thing. So I look at the importance of this man's career and what he has done for college sports. I am letting him choose. And I want to know what he would have chosen. Let's get Lee Corso on. Let's do it. Big names coming in the studio. Let's get Lee Corso in here.
Go ahead.
We'll let him put on one of the football helmets right in front of you.
Absolutely. I mean, Shane Johnson, then Lee Corso. It's a perfect step. Absolutely.
And then John Madden. He's the next one up.
Are we going to get a medium?
Hologram.
I'm like, that's what I was like. Are we going to get a Ouija board out and we're just going to, hey, John, can you tell us what you're thinking right now? Boom. That's what I'm thinking.
You can be over here in the producer's room. You could work the stream. We'll have Jimmy Buffett, John Madden, and Johnny Cash in the studio, all just one big hologram. I don't think anybody's going to complain about it.
Could you ever see Johnny Cash and Jimmy Buffett doing a duet together?
Totally different.
Like again,
song.
Kane Brown and Taylor Swift the other night. That makes sense. Okay. Luke Combs, when he did his duet with Post Malone, that even kind of makes sense a little.
Eminem and Jelly Roll.
That song is so good.
It's not that.
It is so good.
I don't think it's that good.
It is so incredibly good. But same thing is I don't really see that as a collab because you have the song is good by itself. Jelly Roll's song is good by itself. Then you added the Eminem part into it. It's like,
well, that's the way Eminem does it, though.
Were y'all even like in the studio together, like at any point in time, or did you just go, "Hey, Em, can you throw down some bars on this? Let me go ahead and just kind of add this in. We'll get somebody to mix it up, and we'll make a whole new drop."
That's what Eminem does, though. Mirror on the Wall. What was Stan? The whole song is pretty much based off another song. I mean, that's what Eminem does. That song I didn't think was that good though. So good. I have been on an Eminem kick lately, but it has been more of the Bad Meets Evil album.
Yeah,
came out in 2011.
Ooh,
golly, spectacular.
M. Oh, I can talk M for a few days.
Oh, me and you both, brother. I used to fall asleep on an old little MP3 or iPod.
Oh,
it was an
please.
original iPod.
What song could you fall asleep to Eminem? Like I am.
I just said like two of them.
I know you did, but in my head, I'm sitting here thinking to myself because a lot of M stuff that isn't on the radio goes so hard. Like it is
Haley's song. I could fall asleep to that. I could fall asleep to Stan. I could fall.
He did have that moment of time where he went through some like slow jams.
Mirror on the Wall. It's that whole 2009 album that it was just like you could get some really good stuff, then you could get some really sad stuff. I'm just
bad that I got into a car wreck listening to M.
Which song?
I cannot remember. It was. I'll look it up because we have phone calls going on. 256-576-977. I'll find the album. I know which one it is once I see the cover.
Jason, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm good. How y'all doing this morning?
Doing good.
Wonderful.
Hey, the Ohio State and Texas game could be the biggest fraud game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
You got a quarterback that left Alabama is probably going to be the starter that couldn't get on the field at Alabama. And then you got the Manning guy who they brought in the Georgia game, and they was going to let him win the job and yours and never see the field.
Mm-hmm.
But he failed. And that's why yours finished the season as the starting quarterback.
Look, I'm not doubting that this is going to be one of the most intriguing games of the season, but I think a lot of people are still overlooking what Florida State and Alabama can be at the beginning of the year, and also the implications of this guy's career. I still go back to it. Would he be in the position that he is in right now if it wasn't for him going to Florida State, graduating after being a football player, and then going into the TV business? There are so many implications for his last show. I would think you maybe push away from that big game and just have it as a big night game and then start it with, of course, Florida State and Alabama, have the show on location, and then get into the big day of football. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, Alabama, Florida State could be a really good game. You got the Castellano kid who's been running his mouth, going up against the unknown oddity is what's the boy from Alabama?
Ty Simpson.
Yep. And I hadn't proven anything.
No.
So here's Florida State, big chance to shock the world on
Oh,
national
geez.
TV.
Take me back to this is interesting the way that it's starting out. Take me back to 2008 at the start of Nick Saban's era. Alabama versus Clemson, the first Chick-fil-A game. That right there kind of has a similar implication to what's going on with Florida State and Alabama. A little less because Alabama had a stretch of really bad seasons, but none of them compared to as bad as what we saw from Florida State. So maybe that does kind of even out. But Alabama comes out, completely wrecks Clemson, not even close. and that was the start to something new. Maybe we could see something similar with Florida State. I wouldn't want to see it because I'm all for Alabama in this one. But again, I feel similar storylines coming. But again, you get the same coach. It's not 1-to-1 with that Nick Saban second year.
Does LSU and Clemson play opening weekend?
Let me see real quick.
Yes.
There you go.
Yep. 6:30 game kickoff on ABC.
Better take Clemson.
Garrett Nussmeier.
I mean,
he's that Heisman contender, baby. But he's got Caleb Klubnik, so it's
I feel like there's just as much unknown about Nussmeier, even though he has started plenty of games as Ty Simpson.
Clemson right now is a 3-point favorite. So basically, they're just giving Clemson the home field advantage right now against LSU.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Brian Kelly, unless they're playing some weak skill, his opening games he usually loses.
Yeah. I mean, he lost against Florida State in the Superdome, I believe. That's what it was at the beginning of the season, if I remember correctly. Like, yeah, the first game of the season for him is he drives up to that stadium on the struggle bus.
I mean,
yeah, they had USC last year. USC took them down, and they was.
That's what it was. Yeah, it was USC. It wasn't Florida State.
Yep, 27-20.
Florida State was year before.
Florida State was the year before, and they put 45 up on that bad LSU defense. But the offense was amazing. It was such a good offense.
Yeah.
Heisman Trophy winner came out of there.
I'll give you a high school nickname trivia question to see how good you are.
Okay. It's about to be an L.
All right. Frisco City, Alabama. What's their nickname?
I'm going to guess first. I'm going to say they're the Broncos. Joe?
Rough Riders.
Nope. Whip Ants.
Whip Ants?
Yep. WHIPPETS.
All right. Only reason I said Rough Riders is because I think there's actually a minor league team now named that's the Frisco Rough Riders. That's literally the only reason I said that. Yeah, it's the only reason I said that.
It's the Whip Ants. That's interesting. All right, man.
Well,
Appreciate
have a
you.
good Thursday, fellas.
Thank you. So fun John Abraham quiz game.
What?
Not really. Just no. The intro is going to be longer than what the actual quiz is. When was the last time that LSU?
I just have it low. Continue.
Okay. When was the last time LSU won their season opener?
Wasn't COVID year. It had to be before the
COVID year. They lost to Mississippi State.
Yeah, it was. I'll have to guess 2018. I'm not 100% on this one.
On the nose.
Whoa, really?
They beat Miami in Texas at the Advocare Classic.
I didn't think it was too much farther back than COVID, but 2018 is a ways away now.
It's LSU. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? Like, I'm looking back and even, 2019, they played Georgia Southern in 2019. I'm talking about like the Power Fives when you start the season off with the Power Five. They haven't won a Power Five matchup to start the season since 2018.
That's wild.
And they've played UCLA, Florida State twice, USC. Lost them. Lost every one of them.
Yeah, nobody's going to be doubting them in that 2019 year, but they did not start against Power 5 squads. So
no, the second game of the season is when they went to Texas.
And they beat their ass.
It's about 7.
Well, they
45-38.
Beat everybody else's ass.
Okay, that is very true.
No doubt about it.
They went on a streak of like 6 games where they scored like 42 plus points in those, and in some of them it was like 65 points.
We got to hop into a break. We've been talking some of these matchups though, Joe. Kind of gets me a little bit excited about some of the big ones to start off the year, and then throughout this season, maybe we'll take a look at Joel Klatt's list of games that could completely flip the college football season on its head. That's what's coming up next here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Yo, Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. This is the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Your Rocket City Trash Pandas are back right before Independence Day for a 3-game homestand July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The The homestand concludes with a special Independence Eve celebration featuring a 6:05 p.m. start time and post-game fireworks show. Get your tickets for the homestand now by visiting TrashPandasBaseball.com.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway, Rise Real Estates, and Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our workhorse special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. But hurry, this offer is only good through June 30th. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor. We're here for you.
I'm Jeff Jr., founder and CEO of Trajan Wealth. I was born and raised in northern Wisconsin by both my father, who owned a small 10-lane bowling alley, and my mother, who was a nurse, who did her best caring for everyone in our small town. My parents stressed with me that if you were going to do anything, it needed to be done right or not done at all. I later joined the Marine Corps, where additional values were instilled. Values like honor, courage, and commitment. The motto of the Marine Corps, Semper Fi, which means always faithful. The best part of Trajan Wealth, our 100-plus employees who also embrace the exact same values. If your current financial advisor is more interested in selling you something or is more loyal to their own financial gain than yours, give us a call for a second opinion. We would be honored to hear from you. Call Trajan today, 256-208-9000. That's 256-208-9000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Who run it? Who run it? Who run the defense? Who run it? Who run it? Who run it?
Depends on the team.
Who run it? Who run it?
And who you want to hand it off to. Depending on who. I hand the ball off to, but hand off the defensive play calling to. 256-576-977 on this Thursday on the Blitz. Joe Hunk, John Abraham.
Whip dance. That's our new nickname.
This?
What is a whip dance?
I don't know.
I'm still looking. I'm getting girls' clothing.
A whipped ant is bringing up girls' clothing?
Whipped ant. Ant? There it is. What do we got? Likely refers to velvet ants. Okay, specifically a female. A whip of ants.
I have no idea.
Or a whip of ants is spell in the Pathfinder role-playing video game. We playing Pathfinder role-playing video game?
So speaking of that, I just posted something on one of my Instagram stories as Jacob Wilson, who plays for the Sacramento A's. He's a shortstop for Sacramento. He's having an absolutely tremendous season right now. Somebody asked him what his secret has been this year to playing better.
Yeah.
Would you like to guess his answer?
He's watching more anime and it's getting more inspired before matchups.
I can't even make fun of you for that.
Because guys do it.
They do. And you're not 100% far off.
Okay.
But he says the reason why and things that he has noticed on game days is that when he wakes up in the morning before going to the field and he plays video games,
nice.
He has better hand-eye coordination and he has the ability to focus more.
Parents,
because he's been playing video games all morning.
Don't take your kid off that game just that soon. All right, let him play just a little bit longer. His hand-eye coordination will be just a little bit better.
So far this season, he's batting .347. He has an OPS of .875. He's got 9 home runs, 40 RBIs, and a 2.2 WAR.
What would the best game be though to play to help your hand-eye coordination? Obviously, you'd think, baseball. But it's like there's other games out there that I feel like are even better when it comes to working on that aspect.
So the baseball one to me does help because I do when I treat the baseball game like I would treat it if I was really playing baseball. I notice how much better I actually play.
Yeah.
If I'm patient at the plate, if I'm looking for doing all the things that you would do in a baseball game, I play much better.
That's like me with the motorsports games. If I'm playing Forza, I treat it like I'm actually driving my car and I don't want to fly into a wall. I'm not going to fly into walls.
In the Japanese baseball game, I have to be way more selective than I do on MLB The Show. And so I would say that game because I have the speed of the baseball as far as is quote unquote real time.
Yeah.
So if they throw 100, it comes in at 100.
I feel like one game that would really help out, like Beat Saber. You've ever heard of that game?
Yeah. Is that the interactive one?
Yeah, it's VR.
Yeah.
Anything like that or any like rhythm based game where you have to time it perfectly. I feel like that would also help out with baseball hand-eye coordination.
Is it bad that I would think like Call of Duty? Because you have to focus and look for movement along some planes, through houses, into windows. Like you're having to analyze and be very detail oriented so that for somebody that might snipe you.
You could definitely say that.
I could say that. Now I'm curious about what game he plays.
Yeah. I'm also wondering which games some of these defensive coordinators play. Of course, you could throw out Kane Womack for Alabama, DJ Durkin for Auburn, but there's also Ron Roberts, Brad White for Kentucky, Blake Baker. I mean, all of these guys probably play something different. And I'm not just talking video games. I'm talking about strategies and the way that they put these defenses into play, because we've been talking about this for a little bit, Joe. Teams that need to get better on defense to have a successful 2025 season. Now, we've thrown out the ones that you can't say, like a Mississippi State who needs a little bit more help.
They need more help on the offensive side before you can even say that the defense is the one that needs to step up.
Exactly.
Yes.
But then a team like Ole Miss, who already is at the top on defense, just kind of needs to win some of those games that they should be winning. A game against Kentucky, should have won it. And that's the biggest one you could go back to and think, Ole Miss lost that game? Yeah, the same way Florida lost to Ole Miss back in 2008. I love how I'm talking back about 2008, but I'm on kind of a retro kick
right now.
Because you asked the question during the Cover 5 yesterday, Joe, and I wanted to bring this up. What game would I want to actually be at?
Go back. If you could go back in time and be at a sporting event or particular game, not trying to change history, you just want to watch it.
Fanfare 2008, I was there for the SEC championship game. I did not end up going to the actual football game because I was just brought along so Tom could have some company. That would be one I would have loved to go to, even though Alabama loses that. It is the start. It is the initial beginning, the first brick into Nick Saban's legacy, I would say, at Alabama. So I would want to go back to that right there. And then 2009, because I was also at the fanfare for that one, still didn't go to the game. It really sucks. I didn't know the implications back then, but now
you look back at it and you went, dude, I could have seen McElroy tiptoe down the sideline.
I could have said Tebow.
You would have seen him cry.
I would have seen him happy cry and then sad cry the next year.
The rest of us cry every time he opens his mouth.
But the team that I think comes to mind, I would throw out a team like Arkansas, Joe. This team was lacking last year on the defensive side of the ball. Of course, they lost a few games that they definitely shouldn't have lost. And some of them, it came from the offensive struggles as well. But now, with a guy like Taylor Green, with the amount of hype that he is starting to get finally. I think that the offense is going to be able to fit into its own. He's got his second year coming up with this offense. And now it's just going to be up to the defense to kind of fill out that role. I mean, last year, you look at the losses that they had, Joe. They drop one, and this is a bad one. They still put up 31 on Ole Miss, but 63 points to Ole Miss, travesty. It should never happen. They struggle against LSU. They allow 34 points. They lose to Texas A&M by 3 points, 21-17. Yet another game that they could definitely be a little bit more competitive with. They beat Auburn. They lose to Oklahoma State 39-31. They were ahead by 2 touchdowns in that game numerous times. They lose that game. They clean up some of these games right here. They've got 2 or 3 extra wins. This team is a powerhouse. They're up there. And I think that Sam Pittman and his job would be a little bit more set in stone for the upcoming years. Right now, hot seat though. And it's hot. It's as hot as anybody else's is in the SEC. They held Texas to 20 points, Joe. Consistency, playmakers. Recruiting needs to pick up. And on top of that, well, I haven't checked on too much of what they brought in during the offseason when it comes to the transfer portal. But, yeah, there's a few pieces that they need to figure out because that offense is going to be electric this upcoming year.
There's 2 that I'm looking at, and one of them I think can make a bigger impact in the SEC than what the latter would. Mm-hmm. And Vanderbilt was one that I looked at just because it wasn't that this team was bad on defense last year. They were much improved from 2023 to 2024. It was more about they still need to be a little bit better, and they could be a 9 or 10 win team if that were to take place. And it's crazy to even think about that with Vanderbilt.
So 2 wins is big for them.
I mean, exactly. So I say that, but then I look at Texas A&M and to me, Texas A&M, there was a point in time in the season that A&M was a top 10 team in the year. Like they started the season off losing to Notre Dame. And so they dropped out of the top 25. We stopped focusing on them. But then they go on this streak where even with a hurt quarterback, and he is out when Marcel Reed steps in, and then Wigman comes back, and then he stops playing well. And so Marcel Reed steps back in. They were going back and forth on quarterbacks. The offensive side was still putting up points. You lose a running back in Le'Veon Moss. He has an injury towards the very end of the year, which causes him to miss like the last 4 games. But then this defense, at one point in time, this defense went to Missouri when Missouri was like a top 10 team themselves and only allowed 10 points. This was when Cook was healthy. This was all of this. They only allow the 10 points. And then you go towards the end of the season, and this team was giving up over 34 and 35 points a game.
Yeah, they struggled.
That's the biggest difference in this team is you gave up 17 to Texas. It was a rivalry game. It was happening at Kyle Field. But, the talent that you're bringing back, and I know that I believe it's an edge rusher that they lost. And I know that they are, but yeah, it was in Scourton or whatever, who had like 14 TFLs on the year. You also lose BJ Myers, who had 4 interceptions last year. You lose those guys, but you look at the players that are coming back on offense, the entire offensive line is coming back. If that defense improves, this could be a really good Texas A&M team. Mm-hmm. This could be a team that you're talking about college football playoff. You added TJ Searcy from Florida. You have brought in players in, Jerome Miles at wide receiver. He was like a 5-star wide receiver for this team on the offensive side. You can look at the transfers that they had as well. They have made a lot of improving moves. They just have to win, and the defense cannot give up 34 points a game.
No, yeah. And unlike a lot of teams that we saw who got better throughout the year, you could throw out the Auburns there. You could also throw out the South Carolinas because the beginning of the season, the first half, people still didn't believe in them. By the end of the season, people were believing them. And even a Mississippi State kind of built up a little bit throughout the season. But for Texas A&M, it was the opposite. I think with Marcel Reed, of course, getting into that starting role, staying there, staying healthy, I think that's going to be something that pushes them very far.
Well, and this team went into South Carolina last year to start the month of November, playing a South Carolina team that at that point in time was not ranked, even though by the end of it, we were discussing how, honestly, if you put schedule to schedule, South Carolina has an argument of being in the college football playoff. South Carolina then beat a number 10 Texas A&M team when they beat them like handedly. Like they beat them by like 25 points.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, they lose there. They, for some reason, lost at Auburn, which nobody lost to Auburn last year.
Well, it was because they were at Auburn. That was the one good thing.
They went like 4 overtimes, and at one point in time, by the end of it, you're just going, seriously, like, is somebody just going to win this game? Like, it wasn't the 8 overtime game between Georgia Tech and Georgia, like what we talked about yesterday, but 4 overtimes, and you're just looking at it going, does anybody actually want to win this game? You lose to them, you lose to Texas, you lose to USC in the Las Vegas Bowl. Like, you started the season off outside of that loss to Notre Dame, and you could say that that was one of the better teams in the SEC, if not one of the top 5 teams in the SEC for majority of the season. Then when the clock turned and the calendar turned to November, something changed.
Mm-hmm. I'll say this. If LSU's defense is shored up in this upcoming season, they're winning the national championship, or at least getting to the college football playoffs. The one problem is I don't think they did enough in the transfer portal. Bringing anybody in, I think they've got a lot of the same faces. They're going to have a lot of the same struggles. Now, they were better than the year prior with Jaden Daniels, but last year they still were not a team that you could look at and say around the board they could go against anybody in all of football. I think the defense for LSU is definitely the biggest that needs to be upgraded for a team that could go the farthest. Arkansas, I'd love to see them go 8, 9, 10 wins possibly, but I don't think it's as likely as what LSU can do. If their defense shored up, they're going into the playoffs and they might win a game or two. I'm excited to see what they've got. And, well, that's all I got to say on the defensive side.
That's all I got to say about that.
I do want to talk a little bit more of those football games that are going to come up, but we do have callers on the line. You can get in as well, 256-576-97.7. Josh is on with us. Josh, how you doing, man?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today?
Doing good, man. How about you?
Just chilling.
I can't complain. It hadn't got too hot yet. I wasn't sweating to death like I was yesterday, so I'm not complaining yet.
Is it not humid as heck outside? Because I haven't gone outside since it stopped raining, but oof, I'm not looking forward to it.
It is, but it is nowhere near as bad as the last 2 days.
Okay.
I know it's coming, but, man, it's not near as bad.
Okay.
Yesterday was miserable.
I believe you. What's up, dude?
Man, I just wanted to chime in on the games y'all were talking about that you would have liked to have been at. And for me, and I know you were talking about 2008. That was a good one, John, you know, building the foundation. But for me, same thing, being a big Alabama fan, the Alabama-Georgia National Championship when Tua gets sacked and then throws the pass. And Georgia thinks they're about to win a national championship, and then we just deflate them, and that place goes electric when he throws the pass. I mean, I would have killed to be there.
I totally agree with you. I think Tom was actually on the sidelines in that game. It might have been that one, or it could have been the Clemson one. I get mixed up on them every once in a while, but I think it was the Clemson one because Jalen Hurts might have been the starter. But no, there's just so many moments in Alabama history you could go back on. And I know other people could say the same thing about their respected game. But I was even at the Alabama-Georgia game last year. And when I look back on it in 10 years, I'm going to say that was the best game I've ever gone to. I think about it right now, though, and I'm thinking, I could have been at home watching that game. It would have been just as good. I don't know about that. The implications behind a lot of these guys and the futures that they have, and like you just said it, Tua Tagovailoa. On top of that, there were a bunch of other studs on the team, Devontae Smith as well. I mean, those guys are now, they're mainstays in the NFL. Some of them got Super Bowls.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, it just means so much more now looking back on it.
Yep, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And, I mean, it like you said, they're mainstays, and, they're household names. And, and like you said, with the last year's Georgia-Alabama game, I mean, nobody thought we were going to go in there and have a chance, and we go in there 28-0, and we're blowing the doors off of them.
Mm-hmm. And then getting to experience what Ryan Williams has to offer for the city of Tuscaloosa. Oh, boy, I'm going to be looking back on that one for a minute.
Right. Well, and then, on top of that, like you said, you got game day there. You got the president of the United States there. I mean, man, how awesome is that,
Mm-hmm. He was in a club area across from us. We were top. I'm trying to think. We were on the side of the Crimson Tide, and it was the top left. We were up a few rows. I've only been to a handful of Alabama games. One of them was against Arkansas 2 years ago, and one of them was a spring game a long time ago, around Nick Saban's beginning. But other than that, I would say that the Georgia game last year was definitely the best one to go to.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and on that note, man, I've only been to a handful myself, even though I've been a lifelong fan.
Mm-hmm.
But on that note, I would also like to get to more Tennessee Titans games, just because I pull for them, because that's, one of the closest NFL teams we have to us, and the Atlanta Falcons, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I pull for the Titans, and especially when Derrick Henry went there, I was pulling for him. And I got to go to a handful of Titans games, and, man, I love the atmosphere there too, so I definitely would like to get up there more as well.
I'm going to miss the stadium, though. I'm going to be honest. It's going to be a totally different vibe whenever it's a dome. I would definitely irk you to get to a few games because just having
you're right about that.
The city, like the air coming through, of course, on top of that, you have the red lights. Joe, I know you know this very well. You're probably like, this novice talking about it. Every single Titans game during the regular season, Joe, that I've gone to, they've lost. All right.
And I'm torn on the
last
stadium.
one I went to, they played the Redskins, and it went into overtime. And Tennessee could have kicked the field goal to win it. They missed the field goal. Redskins ended up kicking the field goal. It's before they became, switched the name. But it's like 5 years ago. But the Redskins ended up kicking the field goal and winning the game. Yeah, most of them I've gone to, they've lost. But it's still a great experience.
No doubt about it, man. Even the preseason games, they feel like regular season games. It's a lot of fun over there. Joe, how many Titans
that was
games?
2010.
What?
Yeah. 2010, November 21st, 2010, Redskins beat Titans 19-16 in OT.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
God, was that how long ago that was?
Yeah.
Man, well, I've been to many since then. I don't know why I thought that one was like 5 years ago.
Well, look, I mean, it's the memory of that game. It probably sits with you a little bit more than some of the other ones. One of the second game that I ever went to at LP Field at the time was the Browns versus the Titans, and the Browns came back and won that one 28-0, or from 28-0 going into halftime. So I mean, that was one of those games that sticks with me way more than the Bengals and the Titans that I saw. Wherever I got to hear so many Bengals fans walking out of there saying "Who Dey," and I remember it was the first time I was really introduced to AJ Green, as an NFL player.
2014.
You know what's even crazier about when I do go to a Titans game? Sometimes I have my Titans gear on, but I've gone in there several times wearing Alabama gear, and the whole way to my seat, every time, all I hear is "Roll Tide, Roll Tide,
oh, yeah.
Roll Tide." And I'm like, man, I didn't expect this up here, close to Tennessee, close to Knoxville.
Oh, there are plenty of Alabama fans that are flooded in Tennessee. Trust me, I would know. I've had a few best friends throughout my times growing up there.
Well, hey, fellas, love the show as always. Y'all have a good one. If I don't talk to you tomorrow, have a great weekend. And are y'all going to be on next week?
No, we're taking the week off too.
I just learned that yesterday.
Yeah, we're taking the week off too.
Enjoy the 4th, man. I think it's going to rain a little bit, but y'all try to enjoy your time off, and it's well deserved. And I can't wait till y'all come back that following Monday, fellas.
Hey, thank you, sir. We appreciate it, man. Thank you for that.
We can't wait
Yes,
either.
sir. Y'all have a good one, guys.
Vince Young was the quarterback in that game that he was talking about.
Makes sense. I think the quarterback that was playing was Jake Locker against the Bengals.
14, I believe.
I don't think it was 14.
Yeah, Browns complete largest road
No.
comeback in
I'm
NFL history.
I'm talking about the Bengals game, though, the original one. I think they had Matt Hasselbeck as the quarterback in that game.
Oh, see, I was remembering the Browns game that you were talking about.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying, because it's more notable. That might have been the Redskins game for Josh. Who knows? Look up that Bengals game. They lose to AJ Green, though. I think he was a rookie that year. It might have been his second year in the team.
By the way, for that Redskins game he's talking about, Mark Mariani started the scoring off on the very first play of the game on the punt return for the Titans. He ran it back 87 yards. You had Vince Young going 12 of 16 for 165 yards passing.
Donovan McNabb was the quarterback for the Redskins.
Donovan McNabb, 376 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. CJ2K at 130 yards rushing. And the man that still does not get enough love by Titans fans, Nate Washington, had 117 yards receiving.
Number 85.
Dude, one of my favorite Titans ever. One of my favorite Titans ever.
Yeah, right beside Kenny Britt.
No, not Kenny Britt. No, Kenny Britt, he was Broadway's favorite quarterback or favorite wide receiver.
Yeah.
At least that's what got him in trouble. 256-576-977. We wrap up the Blitz next on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN-TV.
Phone lines are open now. 256-576-4977. This is the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor at Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
This is Steve Moulton for Tellini's Italiano. Tellini's Italiano is located right in front of the Walmart, right off of University, behind the McDonald's. More or less catty corner from Topgolf. It's one of my favorite places to go to, and if you go there, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you need to try the baked spaghetti, add a meatball. Also try the baked ziti with meat sauce, add sausage. You'll thank me. Save room for some pizzas and paninis as well. And don't forget about dessert as well. The best cheesecake I have had here in North Alabama is at Tellini's Italiano. Find out for yourself today. That's Tellini's Italiano, right off of University Drive in front of the Walmart. Located online at Tellinis.com. That's TELLINIS.com. Let's get some Tellinis tonight.
The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. Weekday morning starting at 9 a.m. on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Final segment, best segment. 97.7 ESPN The Zone and The Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk on this Thursday, but tomorrow.
I'm so excited. I could hear you wanted to start singing for whatever reason. We can't sing in this last hour. It's not a Disney show. Tomorrow,
oh, my
though.
Heavens. Yep.
Wait, you think,
nope. Keep going.
Did I create something going in your head?
You just activated a core memory.
Okay.
Keep going.
All right. Tomorrow we're going to be on location at Bobcat of Huntsville. Okay, off of Highway 20. Don't get it twisted. We're going to be on location. Our show is going to be live from 9 to 11. You guys could show up there whenever, but the event doesn't start until 10, and it doesn't end until 3. So you've got plenty of time to stop by, hang out with us. We're still going to be on location. I don't know how long after. Joe, I'm going to probably drive every single piece of equipment they got. You, on the other hand, you still need to show me what you got.
Yeah, no, it's that's good. That's also going to be a part of the festivities,
Food,
I should say.
Door prizes, and a whole lot of fun at Bobcat of Huntsville tomorrow, starting at 10.
So my son, I've told you, I told you guys about how I've kind of gotten him into rock music.
Mm-hmm.
So every single Wednesday, he and his sister, is the older of the two sisters, go to their Mimi and Poppy's house. So I drive them to, and we swap the kids over, and then I pick them up after work.
We.
So we do this thing because if it was up to my son, we would listen to the same song the entire 40-minute drive.
Passengers by Deftones.
No, very close though. Some song called Amnesia. And there is, if it was up to my daughter, we would listen to Baba Black Sheep.
That's a good one.
The entire time.
Classic.
Exactly. I mean, everybody loves some Baba Black Sheep. And so we have created this little order that we would go through where it would be like my son gets a song, my daughter gets a song, I get a song.
Okay.
You just talked about Disney. Pot that music down just a little bit because I have discovered that my son is actually okay with an artist called Peyton Parrish.
Okay.
He does Disney songs in the form of hard rock.
Nice.
So we all know this song.
Elsa!
I'm trying to get to the chorus before we get out of here.
Frozen! Well, we got 10 seconds, Joe.
See?
We'll
It's awesome.
We'll let you guys go till
It's
tomorrow.
awesome.
We'll see you guys.
Eagle Masonry and Insulation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of iconic casinos, world-class shows, dining, and entertainment. Las Vegas. With flights starting as low as just $79, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Las Vegas. Book nonstop to Las Vegas now at flybreeze.com.
The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day